Hello, everybody. Dr. JJ with Pinnacle Chiropractic, and today we're going to talk about speech delay. And unfortunately, it is something that kids deal with, and like so many other developmental delays and health challenges in kiddos, seeing your child struggle with speech is truly a heartbreaking and frustrating experience for parents and those around them, too. Speech delays and speech challenges, they just don't interfere with your child's ability to communicate, but they also frequently lead to many social, emotional challenges, as well as these kiddos, they get frustrated and because they're unable to communicate their needs and emotions to those around them. So if your child is diagnosed with a speech delay, or if you're concerned that they may have one, please stick around. Also, if your child is already diagnosed and maybe receiving speech therapy services, but they're still struggling, or it seems like they have plateaued with their results, make sure you watch all this video all the way through because we'll walk through how often traditional therapy is amazing and wonderful, but it may not fully address the root cause of what your child's speech delay is. So let's break down the science and the neurology behind speech delays, and most importantly, get right into the missing action step and the care option that you've probably been looking for all along. So first, what's really important to understand with speech delay in the first place is speech delay often, you need to know what it is. So speech delay often refers to when a child's language and communication skills develop more slowly than typically expected, and indicating that there is stress or interference within the brain and the nervous system causing a delay within the speech. So many children with speech delay may have individual words, but they often struggle to make them clear. They struggle to string them in a complete sentence as well, and things along those lines. So now it's also important to know what is the exact cause of these speech delays. And like most neurological and developmental delays in kids, conventional pediatricians will usually blame speech on bad luck and not really offer parents much explanation at all as what is going on with their kiddo. So it's important to know that speech delays are most commonly an issue with the physical formation and execution of speech. So especially once other neurological disorders or hearing challenges are ruled out. With all that being said, one of the most overlooked contributing factors with speech delays that we see again and again in our practice is the role of birth interventions such as forceps, C-section, vacuum extraction, induction. They all can play a big role in this, and not only in this, but in a lot of other disease processes. But we'll focus in, like I said, on speech communication today. So, as well as if they're dealing with that, there's also a connection with chronic ear infections, torticollis, and plagiocephaly, which is flattening of part of the skull throughout, whether it be on birth or throughout their early developmental months, which all of them can be traced back to birth interventions and trauma. And what all this boils down to is something called subluxation. And since we know that the majority of cases with speech delay is caused by physical challenges within the nerves and the muscles that coordinate and execute speech, it's essential that parents learn and know about neuromuscular dysfunction called subluxation. Now, subluxation is a neurological dysfunction that creates interference or disrupted communication between the brain and the rest of the body. And in this case, most specifically, the nerves and the muscles that could coordinate speech control, speech perception, formation, and execution. So, I had toyed with the idea of putting a picture up here of a C-section birth. You guys can Google it on your own time because I do think it's kind of a trickery thing for most. Most people don't realize it, but if you had been through a C-section and you looked over that curtain or peered beyond that curtain, you probably saw your child's head. Often it gets twisted and then very forcefully yanked. I know I've heard many parents say that during that process, sometimes the doctors slip off while they're pulling the baby's head off and they step backwards or, them as a doctor, the ones pulling on the baby's head, almost fall over themselves. So that just shows you that it's not a gentle process, which when you're twisting and contorting the muscles in the upper neck, all that area goes back to the nerves and the muscles that control speech, perception, formation, and coordination in that region. So that's why oftentimes it is traced back to birth interventions such as forceps, induction, vacuum extraction, you name it. Now, really the role of pediatric chiropractic care in this case is, and what makes Pinnacle Chiropractic the most unique is we do not seek to treat or cure speech delay in children. That's just not what we do. Instead, what we do is our entire focus is to work with parents and other providers to make sure we are addressing the root cause, which is neuromuscular dysfunction and interference, rather than we do this by recommending a very personalized and customized care plan for each and every child, rather than recommending and doing the same thing for each and every child based upon their delay diagnosis, like many other fields. So what we know that seeing your child fall behind, we do know that obviously seeing your child fall behind on speech and other developmental milestones, it can be humbling, it can be disheartening, frustrating, but getting to the root cause with neurologically focused chiropractic care and seeing your child get back on track can be the most rewarding and exciting thing ever. Let me tell you, I have the pleasure of expecting that result with my job when I see parents in here and it's easy to sometimes take for granted, but for each and every parent, it is life-changing because their kid is actually able to communicate, talk to them, express their emotions, their needs, things like that. So if you're looking at getting the most out of your speech therapy and you want to make sure your child gets back on track, please visit our link in our bio. You'll find a full educational article all about speech delays in kids. Otherwise, you can send us a DM. You can give us a call to get a schedule, because the first step is getting that consultation, that exam, those neurological exams with myself or any of the other doctors here at Pinnacle Chiropractic. So that sums up everything we're talking today with speech delays. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace and love.